So let's get into our first discussion of the day. Niger State Governor Sani Bello has confirmed his position as the acting chairman of the All Progressive Congress. The governor also confirmed that there will be a convention for the scheduled date of March 26th. Now, the ruling party is putting its house in order ahead of the 2023 elections, even as it looks to ensure a successful national convention of the party at the stipulated date. What are the tasks ahead of the new APC chairman when he emerges, and what are the things to look at? This will be the crux of our first discussion this morning. And joining me to discuss this from Abuja is the APC chairman, Cross River State, Honorable Alphonsus Oga. Honorable guys, good to have you join me this morning.
Good morning. My pleasure to be here. Good morning, Nigerians.
Great. Now, some of the things that are going on in your party, a lot of Nigerians are watching, whether they are members of your party or not, especially with the issue of the build-up to the national convention, which all your members are looking forward to. Now it's been shifted by a month. A lot of people would say that this is part of democracy working. Others say that there seem to be some issues of concern within the political party. What do you say about this?
I thank you for the opportunity to speak to Nigerians on this issue. The only challenge we had before now, which was very grave, was the convention date that was to take place on the 26th day of February. And don't forget, that was the date that we had an election in Cross River State, in Plateau, Imo, and in Ondo. And I wrote personally to the NWC and told them that to us in Cross River State, this is an election that was too important to us. We would not want the convention to hold on that 26th. So I was happy when the date was shifted, and I must thank Mr. President and the leadership of Alhaji May Malabuni, who acted on our letter and shifted to 26th. Again, the uncertainty that was surrounding this whole issue is over now. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and I can assure you that the convention will hold on the 26th, because the new acting national chairman addressed us shortly after our swearing-in ceremony. We had a special meeting at the Transcorp Hilton, and he explained to us his commitment to holding this convention and the commitment and preparedness of Mr. President. And all of us, the 35 states chairmen that were sworn in, we gave our consent to it. 36 states that were sworn in, we gave our commitment to it.
All right,
so
now
the convention will hold.
Okay.
There is nothing to worry about, please.
All right, and another concern is the issue of just a month, about less than a month to your convention. A lot of people were thinking that May Malabuni, who has been acting or chairman of the convention committee, the chairmanship is transferring from him to the governor of Niger State. People outside your party are seeing that there are still great issues of concern regarding that. Honorable Oga, can you hear me?
I think people worry over nothing.
Okay.
As we speak at the moment, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is not in the country, is out of the country, and the Vice President is already acting as our acting President. Alhaji May Malabuni is not in the country at the moment. We have His Excellency, the Governor of Niger State, acting as the National Chairman of our party. There is just no issue.
Okay, now let's talk about the issue of the build up to the chairmanship of your party. A lot of people, of course, it seems obvious now that the party will go alongside the issue of a consensus candidate. There were citing of instances where the past chairman had always emerged from consensus arrangement. But there are sections of the party who are not comfortable with this as a way of saying that, well, if you're going to, make it very democratic, Why not go into an election? And a lot of people say that what are the leadership afraid of to go into an election to elect a chairman? What do you say to this?
I think people that have not such fears do so in ignorance of the law. By the provision of Article 21C of our Constitution, the direct, indirect, and consensus building are different methods of how we can elect people. I sit down today as chairman of APC in Cross River State. I emerged through the process of consensus. My first litmus test in the last election I just did, I went to that primaries ranked free. I had 8 aspirants for the Akpabio State constituency. I had 8 aspirants for the Ugoja-Yala federal constituency by election. I adopted the consensus method. As I speak with you, not just the lead contestants in that election, every other contestant came up and they were very happy because they saw the transparent process. We were saying that you're not running this election to win for yourself. We want somebody that can win for the party. And when we sat down in an open conclave, the decision was taken. And every of such persons played different role. In Akpabio, the lady, Dr. Genevieve, became the DJ of the campaign organization. In Ugoja-Yala, Dr. Julius Okpetu became the chairman of the campaign organization. A man called Chief Henry Ongwe, who was another lead aspirant, became the deputy DJ of the campaign organization. That is what consensus can build if properly managed by a good leader who is down to earth and humble and gives an explanation of why that method is adopted. I don't think we have any problem. I agree with Mr. President. I agree with the leadership of the party that we should build consensus. And by the grace of God, we will.
All right. Now, let's talk about the chairmanship of the national chairmanship of your party, which it is expected will emerge from the convention that will be held in March. Now, what kind of, create a mind picture for us. What kind of a chairman are you all looking forward to having?
We want a unifier. We want a man that is matured enough to place the interest of the party in the winning streak that we have always known the party to be. We want a man that can accommodate all shades of opinion. We want a man that has national acceptability. We want a man that is humble. We want somebody that is hardworking. We want somebody that is very honest. All the qualities of a good leader that anybody should think about is what we call for. And by the grace of God, from the leading aspirants we've seen so far, one that will emerge possesses all these qualities. And I'm sure 26th is a day that all Nigerians will be happy with the All Progressives Congress. And we'll look forward to that day.
All right. It's quite interesting to, list those ideals for any national chairman or any leader for that matter. Whoever emerges, let us put it that way, but whoever emerges, what are some of the practical and real tasks that will be ahead of whoever emerges the national chairman on the 26th of March? Of April. Of March, sorry, March.
The most important task is that we must unite every aggrieved member of the party. And next to that is that we must keep the All Progressives Congress in the Aso Rock Villa beyond 2023, because Nigerians cannot afford to bring the Papa Deceived Pikin party back to power. So these two are germane, these two are sine qua non, and we must stand by it.
All right. Now you talked about staying in Aso Rock beyond 2023. When you feel the pulse of Nigerians, what they feel and how they assess the government of the day, what do they tell you basically, from what satisfactions on one hand and dissatisfactions on the other hand?
I agree totally that we are going through a very wrong and very tough time in this country. but it is just something that we were foretold was going to happen. And that is why I was there. I recall when the then Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, the then CBN Governor, Alhaji Sanusi, was informing Nigerians that the level that the PDP was ruling this country, Nigeria was just set on a time bomb of poverty pervading all the sectors of our economy. They were not just making a hackneyed prognostication. They were foretelling what was going to happen. And that is the reality that has come. It is unfortunate that the All Progressives Congress government have just become a beast of burden to this. These were things we knew were going to happen. But I thank God with the leader of leadership and character of President Buhari and the All Progressives Congress, at least we have a leadership that Nigerians can trust. I know it would have been worse if it was not the All Progressives Congress. Because you recall what used to be the issue in terms of insecurity. That the whole part of this country, and even this Abuja where we live, that almost everywhere was barricaded. It was a no-go area. If you are driving even towards the defense headquarters at Area 11, the whole area was barricaded. But today you don't have such situations again. And even when the natural disaster of COVID came upon us in the last 2 years, and our economy has almost been grinded to a halt, it has taken the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari and the proactive leadership of our state governors to put the economy on right track. It would have been worse, but I thank God for the All Progressives Congress.
All right. It's almost 8 years now since your party took over from the state of things that you painted. But how well off has Nigeria been since that time? Because if you're talking about insecurity, of course, there were issues around within Abuja at that time. We had issues where there were bombs within the state capital, the country's capital. But after that time, we've still had issues where insecurity in many parts of the country were still so high. So how do you justify the fact that there were insecurity at that time and then things are well off or better off when we still have challenges in Niger State, challenges in Sokoto, in Zamfara State, in Katsina State, even the state of the president and so on. Even in Benue, in Plateau State, there were still issues.
Yes, like any growth, terrorism also grows. Nigeria is not an exception. Terrorism is a global trend that is growing across. But when problems occur, what becomes the response of the government of the day? That is what you consider. Don't forget, before President Muhammadu Buhari came on board, because of the lack of confidence in the then government of PDP, even sale of arms to Nigeria was not possible. But today you see that this country, under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, has taken delivery of 12 Tucano jets, have taken and have made appropriate appropriations for purchase of arms, and it has been properly utilized. Today we are winning the war. But unlike before now, you saw what became of the fund that was used to fight terrorism. That was what went into the pockets of most PDP leaders. I recall how the present chairman of PDP said Malam Dasuki called him and gave him 345 million for consultation, for money that was meant for arms purchase. You recall what happened in that government. And that is what we are talking about. That today, you have a leadership that votes 1 naira for purchase of arms and for fighting insurgency, and the money gets in there. Like I said, it would have been worse if not for President Muhammadu Buhari. And Nigerians know. And that is why an average Nigerian today believes in the leadership of the All Progressives Congress. And that is what is going to show in 2023. Don't forget, we did an election 2 weeks ago. The people of Nigeria have expressed their preference for the All Progressives Congress by the number of areas we won elections in. And so that is what is going to happen in 2023.
All right, now let's talk about the Electoral Act, which the president has signed into law. How much of a game changer will this be towards the election in 2023?
Honestly, I will continue to draw my card for President Muhammadu Buhari. If there is anything he has done in addition to the many things he has done, it's in assenting to that bill. I just went into an election where the BVAS technology was put to the test. And I must tell you the truth. That is one of the greatest things that have happened. And I must commend him for even hearkening to the yearnings of Nigeria. Today, the people matters. And the mattering of the people is what is going to put this country back to the right order. Because votes will now count. Nobody will just sit down in his comfort zone and think that that poor man in the village doesn't mean a lot. It is time for the votes of Nigerians to count, and that is what the Beavers technology has come to do. And I commend the leadership of INEC for coming up with that innovation. Honestly, it is a wonderful thing. But again, I must use this opportunity to say that that contentious provision of Section 84 of the Electoral Act that the President has expressed some reservation and which he has written to the National Assembly, it calls for a lot of concern. And we want people to dispassionately look at this issue. You don't throw the whole issue of governance just to politics. We conducted an election 2 years ago. The President has appointed ministers, ambassadors, senior government officials. If you allow that provision to stand, it means as late as since last week, everybody that wants to run election in 2023 ought to have resigned. Commissioners will suffer the same fate. And a whole lot of appointees. I take, for instance, in my state where we have over 7,000 appointees at the state level and almost 20-something thousand appointees at the local government level. Are you saying that we should grind governance to a halt because people want to run election in 2023? The answer to that is no. I expected that the handlers of Mr. President's bill ought to have seen that provision even before he signed it. But the hue and cry of civil society, who were not even privileged of looking at this bill, started all kinds of hula baloo, and it is unfortunate. And again, I must commend the courage of the Senate President in saying that the court cannot stop them from doing their legitimate business. And they should go ahead and amend that provision. That is the only contentious provision that does not accord with what Mr. President has assented to. And I commend them. Thank you.
All right. Now, finally, before I let you go, let's talk about the issue of voter enlightenment. As we build up to 2023, we expect, or Nigerians expect, that political parties will begin to create enlightenment amongst their followers and amongst their members, and as a way of also wooing new members. But the most important thing is ensuring that we have more people getting involved in the system and into the act of voting and voting process. What is your party doing, especially you are chairman of the APC in Cross River State? What are you doing in that area to create enlightenment for people to get their PVCs on one hand as a way of getting involved in the process?
If there was one task I gave to myself when I was elected on the 16th day of October 2021, was the proclamation that I was embarking on political evangelism. And that was what has earned me the name, the first political evangelist ever known in the world. And what is the message we are preaching? We are saying that every member of our party should return back to their various polling units, should return back to their small enclave and tell the people that, like the religion of Islam and Christianity, there appears now to be a new religion in our body politic. And that religion is called the All Progressives Congress. Because the message we preach is peace, love, unity, and growth of our party and human beings. And from the first day of December, I embarked on what is being known today in Cross River State as the highest level of awareness, conscientizing, sensitizing people, and waking them from their slumber to note and to know that the votes of our people will count. It was not until recently, in the last election that took place on the 26th, that people now saw the reality of what I saw ahead. And I tell you, in Cross River State, from a membership of about 300 and something thousand, now we have membership of about 1.7 million in APC in Cross River State. I just came back now and took delivery of another 1 million registration materials to commence another second phase of political evangelism in Cross River State by next week. And as we do that, and members get registered in our party, we also encourage them to get registered to get their PVC. Now everybody knows that the best instrument you have, that the best and important tool you have to help in the governance of your state is your PVC. So in Cross River State, our awareness is high. And that is what I'm trying to do among my colleagues. It's like a peer review mechanism. I am telling them what we are doing in Cross River State, and I have conscientized our people enough.
All right.
Every member and leader of APC will be returning back to to their various states to be part of this. The new order is sweet. The new order is that everybody get your PVC. Get your PVC and get the kind of governance you want.
All right.
I pity for anybody who doesn't have a PVC. Honestly, I pity for them.
All right, we have to leave you here now. Honorable Alphonsus Oga, the APC chairman, Cross River State. Thank you very much for talking to us.
I thought I was going to have opportunity to talk about the judicial rascality that happened yesterday on the Ebonyi issue.
All right, we may not have the time to do that anymore, but I promise that we will talk about this. Okay, let's allow you react to this. Let's allow you react to this because this is a thing of concern. Go ahead, Honorable Oga.
And I thank you very much for this opportunity. God bless you. Let me use this opportunity to call on the Chief Justice of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the President of the Court of Appeal, and the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, that we as leaders of the All Progressives Congress, we have agreed to stand up to put an end to the judicialization of our body politics. We cannot understand how a judge who knows his calling will give a judgment that does not accord with law, that does not accord with any judicial precedent. The only precedent that exists in this country on the issue of defection is that was decided in the Attorney General of the Federation and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar in 2007. It is absurd for a judge to make reference to a constitutional provision of Section 221 that has nothing to do with the issue of defection. We are students of political history, and let me take this opportunity to berate the kind of senior advocates we have in this country that accept brief only for their pocket and are not concerned about the jurisprudence of our law. It is amazing that even when that decision of the amendment of Section 221 was taken, I was present in the House of Reps on the 4th day of April 2017, and the lead vocalist on that bill, Honorable Sunday Karimi, stated very clearly that it has to do with the issue in Kogi State, where the late Abubakar Awudu's votes was being transferred to Yahaya Bello. That has nothing to do with any issue about the tenure of government that is already circumscribed by Section 180, Section 188, and Section 189 that gives ground on how a governor can be removed. And this is a call on the leadership of APC to stand up because the PDP has taken over our courts. And I recall what happened in Cross River Northern Senatorial District, where a man sits down today in the Senate and did not go through all the processes of election as provided under Section 285, subsection 13, and Section 141, subsection 1 and 2. This nonsensical, diabolical, and pestilential practice is what is being replicated in Ebonyi. And I fear the same thing doesn't happen in Cross River State and again in Zamfara State. But this is a time to call on Mr. President, to call on the Vice President, who is a senior lawyer, to please call the Judiciary to order. We cannot take this because this is going to annihilate the democracy we all fought for. I fought as an infant activist. I fought as a youth activist. I fought as a student activist. I fought as a judicial activist. And I'm fighting today as a political activist. This nonsense must stop. This nonsense must stop. Thank you very much.
All right. What options are open to Governor Mahi at this time? Let me ask you this.
Of course, he has a right of appeal. He will appeal to the Court of Appeal. But we must sound this note of warning so that those eggheads at the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court must know that we cannot allow the judicialization of our politics.
All right. Thank you so much for your opinion and insight into all of this, Honorable Alphonsus Oga, the APC chairman, Cross River State. Thank you very much for talking to us on TVC Breakfast.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Great.
Thank you.
Right.